was 2 days ago. Florida asked a federal judge to pause her order to wind down the Everglades camp. 5 o'clock has come and gone with no ruling posted as appeals continue. It seems that they folded into the cake, baked into the cake, that they knew it was illegal what they were doing. They didn't do an environmental impact study, which is illegal. They probably didn't do zoning or apply for permits. It seems to me they kind of expected eventually this would be shut down. Hey, it's Jordan with Status Coup on the ground. I am in Flint, Michigan, East Palestine, Ohio, Tumwa, Iowa. Please support the leading independent news outlet on the ground covering what the corporate media covers up. Hey, it's Jordan with Status Coup. Breaking news: Trump's ICE Gestapo prison, Alligator Alcatraz, will have no prisoners left within a matter of days. That is the news we have just found out through emails that were obtained by the Associated Press. This comes after a judge's ruling last week shutting down Alligator Alcatraz. The judge had given 60 days to completely shut down the ICE Gestapo prison and torture camp, which in my view, it should have been shut down immediately. But it seems that the emptying out of prisoners to no prisoners is going to come and happen much earlier than that. Let me read now from the Associated Press. Top Florida official says Alligator Alcatraz will likely be empty within days, email shows. A top Florida official says the controversial state-run immigration facility in the Everglades will likely be empty in a matter of days, even as Republican Governor Ron DeSantis and the federal government fight a judge's order to shutter the facility. That, according to an email exchange shared with the AP, in a message sent to South Florida Rabbi Mario Rajman on August 22nd, related to providing chaplaincy services at the facility, Florida Division of Emergency Management Executive Director Kevin Guthrie said, quote, "We are probably going to be down to 0 individuals within a few days." Rajman and the executive assistant who sent the original email to Guthrie both confirmed the veracity of the messages to the AP. A spokesperson for Guthrie, whose agency has overseen the construction and operation of the site, didn't immediately respond. The facility was rapidly constructed 2 months ago with the goal of holding up to 3,000 detainees. Don't need to read the rest of that. This comes after, this is 2 days after the Trump administration was asking a judge to pause her essentially shutdown of Alligator Alcatraz, to which she didn't respond, which is basically a F you. I'm not pausing the injunction. Judge's shutdown order for Alligator Alcatraz stands for now as Florida's request for 5 o'clock pause goes unanswered. This was 2 days ago. Florida asked the federal judge to pause her order to wind down the Everglades camp. 5 o'clock has come and gone with no ruling posted as appeals continue. So, as I said last week when the news came down and the judge's order came down for this to be shut down, you know, people should be happy that we're against this monstrosity, but Trump's going to appeal. DeSantis is going to appeal. We have seen courts rule in their favor for many of the appeals of Trump's illegal, fascist actions over the last 7-8 months of his presidency. But in my view, I think what's going on here is clear. It's pretty clear to me that Ron DeSantis and the Trump administration kind of folded into their, planning the 8 days that it took to erect this torture camp that has no running water. Prisoners get no actual light all day, no actual plumbing. There was massive flooding throughout the two months or so it's been open. It seems that they folded into the cake, baked into the cake, that they knew it was illegal what they were doing. They didn't do an environmental impact study, which is illegal. Obviously, there's an environmental impact in the Everglades, one of the most pristine, protected areas of this country. They probably didn't do zoning or apply for permits. It seems to me they kind of expected eventually this would be shut down, but they didn't do this for actual detention of illegal immigrants. They didn't do this to protect Americans. They did this basically for show. They did this to sell merchandise. They did this to own the libs. And now the proof is in the pudding, because what they probably expected for a judge to shut this down, because it's blatantly illegal, has happened. And by the way, I should add, they did this as a major pay-for-play bribery scheme. Because this, when it's all said and done, it seems this is going to be emptied out before it's even open for 2 months. Yet contractors that have showered Governor Ron DeSantis with political donations, the Attorney General of Florida with political donations, other Republicans with political donations, I'm sure Trump and his administration with political donations, they've made bank. They're going to be fully paid for their contracts, whether the Alligator Alcatraz remains open or not. And we're talking hundreds of millions of dollars, companies that had no experience actually running a detention center. From reports, some of these companies had guards that were literally implicated and being investigated for homicide at other facilities. They're making bank. So this was a good old-fashioned racket at the expense and the inhumanity of undocumented immigrants, including, as I reported weeks ago, a 15-year-old teenager, minor, that was held in this prison. Make you feel good, MAGA? So they probably sold a lot of merchandise. I'd love to investigate that and find out how much the Republican Party, Trump made through the Alligator Alcatraz hats, the beer koozies, and the rest of it. But what was actually accomplished? Absolutely nothing other than physical and psychological torture of immigrants, many of whom have been here for decades, and most of whom had no criminal charges against them, had no criminal history against them. Again, owning the libs. As MAGA, are you listening? He cuts your Medicaid. He cuts food programs. He cuts youth programs. He cuts programs for special needs and special education. And it just came out that Doge, after Trump handed the world's wealthiest oligarch, Elon Musk, the hands to the government, Doge literally copied all of our private Social Security data and numbers onto a unsecure cloud, computer cloud. So who the hell knows who has access to all our private Social Security information? Probably foreign governments, if not domestic hackers. But we got the immigrants, but we own the libs. And more importantly, thankfully, I mean, it's August 27th as I do this video. I mean, hurricane season, it's about to get bad in Florida. From tropical storms to potentially category 3, 4 hurricanes that have gone through this area in Southwest Florida. So as I covered and spoke with climate scientists while we covered this over the last few months, people were going to die. Prisoners were going to die, if not staff, because if even a tropical storm hit this outdoor makeshift torture camp that is literally mostly outdoors, I mean, it couldn't withstand a tropical storm, much less a category 1, 2, 3 hurricane. So it's good news that they're removing people. We'll have to monitor to see if a judge reverses this and allows it to stay open on appeal, because maybe they will shuttle people back in. But it is just a stain. I mean, all of these ICE prisons are a stain. And to be clear, these ICE prisons existed under President Biden as well. They've just been, Trump has applied rocket fuel to the ICE prison, the ICE raids, and all of these unnecessary deportations that do nothing to help your wallet, your kitchen table, your bread and butter economic stress, your healthcare stress. Does nothing. It's all a distraction, as is a distraction to distract from the fact that the president wants you to forget Jeffrey Epstein's name and his involvement with Epstein. I am proud that we have led the charge of mainstream media and independent media covering this story. We were on the ground at Alligator Alcatraz covering this. We sent a freelancer there several times to cover press conferences, vigils at Alligator Alcatraz, because we believe this is important. And you made it happen. So thank you to our paying members. And we want to continue covering this and other important stories that the corporate media basically covers up. Please support us, statuscoup.com/join. I want to show you a clip from our reporting down there. This was our reporter, former reporter now, Ashley Bishop. She's no longer with us. She's alive. She's not with Status Coup. This is her interview. I thought it was really powerful down at Alligator Alcatraz on July 4th with a protester holding an American flag. He had studied the origins of the Nazi death camps. Listen to his words about the stain and what ultimately is the legacy of this torture camp, which, as we've reported, they put prisoners outside for hours, handcuffed in the heat with no water. They left prisoners who had fainted out unattended for a half hour who might have been having a heart attack. They were physically attacking and assaulting prisoners who were handcuffed. This was a torture camp. Let me play this clip of the stain of Alligator Alcatraz.
Another reason too is like I got my bachelor's degree in German linguistics and history, so I spent a lot of my 20s reading extensively about the Nazi regime and its coming to power and what that looked like, and reading personal stories. And I've lived in Germany for a year and a half. I've been to Dachau. I've been to Sachsenhausen. I've seen those places, and I know what's happening. I'm not afraid to call it what it is. This is a concentration camp. The German people, or the German Nazi Party, did not start by telling people, hey, we're going to take people to these death camps and we're going to put them in gas chambers, and that's going to be our final solution to this. They're doing exactly what they are saying now, which is these are just detention centers. We're just going to hold them until we can deport them. Come on. Pay attention.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And kudos to the activists, both indigenous people who live there down in the Everglades and Okeechobee, Florida. This was also dumped onto tribal land, Seminole land, the Miccosukee tribe. This was basically dumped on protected waterways with endangered wildlife, some of the most protected rare species. The Everglades is critical to Florida and the country. So this was not only inhumane, but dangerous for the environment. God knows where they've been dumping the human waste from this facility. They had been hauling in, massive tanks of water because there was no plumbing system here. This is the definition of big government that MAGA, if it's a Democratic president, screams and hollers, big government tyranny. But when Trump does it, let's go get selfies in front of the Alligator Alcatraz sign. It is vile that this was allowed to stand. We'll stay on it because, again, right now it looks like it's going to empty out, but it's not over till it's over. But I'm proud that we've covered this. I would like to think that we had some role, maybe not in shutting it down, but at least waking up more of the masses to what was going on. And we will continue covering this. Also, our cameraman, John, is currently in D.C., covering Trump's takeover of D.C. with his National Guards. Again, unnecessary and needless and fascistic. So stay tuned for videos from that. He'll actually be live tonight on the channel around 7 o'clock from a protest at Union Station where Trump literally just took over from Amtrak. Again, support this on-the-ground reporting, this justice journalism for as low as 16 cents a day. That's what $5 a month is.